This is Time Warner Cable's local edition. I'm Brad Pomerance, and we are joined today by Corey Calaycay. He is the mayor of Claremont, and it's hard to deny that the weather feels different. The last 4 years, we've faced a tremendous drought. It's been cold, we've had some rains, and the experts tell us that an El Nino of Godzilla proportions is going to strike. What's your sense, sir? How are you preparing in Claremont?
Well, the city has been preparing since September of 2015. We have been assuring that we have the equipment that we need on hand to address any issues. We've been clearing our storm drains, clearing gutters. Our staff has been undergoing emergency training.
And I want to talk specifically about the potential for mudslides, because I think of Claremont and I think about your beautiful foothills and the potential for mudslides, because the earth is so hard that any rain, the water's not going to seep as quickly as normally it would into the groundwater. You could just have a rush of water coming off those hills.
The good news for Claremont is, unlike Glendora, we haven't had fires recently.
That is
so
true.
Our hillsides hopefully are a little bit more stable, but that is an important point. People on their own should be evaluating, if they live near hillsides, the hillside areas adjacent to their homes and their yards, to assure that the ground is stable. If they have retaining walls, that those retaining walls are in good condition, that they don't have any signs of stress that might cause them to fail during a storm situation. So those are all things that residents should also be doing on their own to assure that they're ready.
Should residents also consider trying to capture some of this rainwater on their own? Because look, we have faced this drought, and while we passed a bond in November of 2014, we don't have the ability to store much of the water that is going to come. So should we be proactive, maybe get some of those large barrels so we can use some of this rainwater ourselves?
As a matter of fact, we have an organization, Sustainable Claremont, in town, and they promote all of these sorts of green efforts to include trying to hold water in storms. And so through, for example, Three Valleys and the MWD, there are even rebates that are available to purchase rain barrels. So we would encourage a certain amount of that. However, obviously, you want to do it safely. You don't want to have a situation where you're trying to retain water and then create a flood situation. So as long as it's done responsibly and appropriately.
But as I understand it as well, sir, even though we will see significant rain this year, we would need an El Nino quadruple the size of what we can anticipate for it to even make up for the deficit. And so are you able to convey that message effectively to your constituents that, okay, it's raining, but we still need to conserve?
That is part of the reason that I'm here. And of course, many in the public sector are trying to make sure that that message is understood by the public, that as much rain as we might be receiving, it's still going to take many years before that all of our reservoirs and our underground water storage restores to levels that we can be comfortable about in terms of assuring that we have the water supply for people here in Southern California.
And do you have a sense if people are hearing that message? And we know California in 2015 was quite remarkable in stepping up to the governor's call and conserving water. It was inspiring, but will we do as well in 2016? Will the message be, will we take it in?
I can't speak for all communities.
Yeah, what about
Claremont? I can speak for our community. I know that our community members are very astute and they understand these things. When we were asked to conserve, we actually conserved more than many of our surrounding communities. Really? Our average was closer to 40% over the months.
What was your target?
Ours was 30%,
wow.
And roughly 30%, and we actually exceeded that in a big way.
His name is Corey Calaycay. He is the mayor of the city of Claremont. I'm Brad Pomerance. It's Time Warner Cable's local edition.